Morning, friends. So I'm standing in the middle of the road. I'm here with my girl Tatiana again. You remember her from Rabat? That is the Bab al-Qasar, which is the original public gates to the Casbah. Built in 1196 by Yaqub al-Mansur, king of gates and Casbahs. Not his official title, though it's a sobriquet of my own choosing. But it's still, oh, so impressive, more than 800 years later, and still used by the whole of the Casbah every day. Nice. Nice tortoise. That tortoise, if you look, is about the same age as I am. Extreme close up. Good morning, friends. So it's Sunday and I am headed to the El-Badi Palace, which is currently closed for noon prayers. But so I'm going to find myself a coffee. It does not cost me an arm and a leg, because I'm in kind of like nice restaurants, 25 dirhams per espresso territory, which is too rich for my blood. So I'm going to hike off into the souk and find somewhere a little more cost effective. Oh, and I had someone email me. I've had actually quite a few emails now, which is refreshing, and asking me about this scarf. So, just a 1 minute little download. This is a krama, which is a traditional Cambodian scarf. They kind of just wind one off a massive big spool of fabric and cut one off for you. I've had this 23 years. Oh, God, 23 years. I have 3 scarves with me. One you've seen is a massive shamag, a very large kind of meter square piece of very nice white fabric. That's for particularly hot days. I've got a very homespun Ethiopian one, which was a gift from a friend of mine called Gashor in Lalibela. And I've got this one. This one has, if you like, the most sentimental value. I love it to death. And quite honestly, a lot of the time with the way I dress, I need the splash of colour. So there's that. Right, coffee time. There we go, local place, 10 dirham, including a bottle of water. Yes. Good afternoon again, friends. So here I am in the central square of the Palace of El-Badi. It's an amazingly large place, actually. I am standing in the center of the square. You have these little lowered bridges on either side. The second I just walked straight onto this, half the population of the palace did the same. I've been waiting for a few minutes. Anyway, El-Badi. which is the name of this massive complex, was once a palace of some distinction, although remarkably short-lived. El-Badi literally means the incomparable. It's one of the 99 names of God in Islam. The builder of this place, he was the Sultan of the Said dynasty, Ahmad al-Mansur, descendant, of course, of Yaqub al-Mansur, who is the guy of which I've spoken many times. But he called this place the incomparable. And I must admit, I really like the duality of that, because, of course, he was expressing his piety towards Allah by calling it one of the 99 names of God. So, humility toward Allah himself. But also, of course, calling it the incomparable is saying just how awesome and beautiful the palace was, and it once really, really was. Now, construction began in December 1578, mere months after the massive Moroccan victory at the Battle of the Three Kings in August 1578. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But this place was paid for, reputably anyway, by the ransoms of Portuguese nobles that had resulted from that battle. That was a major part of filling the coffers to get this place built. Yeah. Okay, so Battle of the Three Kings, August 1578. It was a really very serious undertaking. The Portuguese, it was their last attempt, and it was disastrous. It was their last attempt to regain some of the territory that they'd lost on this continent, in this country, and that was it for them. 23,000 men the Portuguese had. That was headed up by Sebastian I, the king. And 23,000 men included Portuguese, 6,000 Moors from the Iberian Peninsula, Flemish, Germans, Italians. It was really quite a serious thing. And the Moroccans had estimates vary between 60,000 and 100,000 men. And it was a disaster for the Europeans. They were surrounded, they were encircled. Something like 8,000 were killed, and reputably 15,000 men, including, of course, many nobles, were captured. And the rich ones were ransomed. This was at a time, of course, when the Moorish influence in the southern Iberian Peninsula and southern Spain had waned considerably, because, of course, you had the rise of the Spanish Empire, the Portuguese Empire, and, of course, the British Empire. But this was at a time when the North African influence and outposts and colonies had really left the Iberian Peninsula, and it was the last-ditch thing. So, Ahmad al-Mansur used a great deal of that money to build this place. As I say, construction began in December 1578 and continued up until 1593. It was supposed to be absolutely stunning, but as I say, remarkably short-lived, because when Ahmad al-Mansur died, I think it was 1603, this place was almost instantly abandoned. And later on, end of the 1600s, in much the same way as, because that was at a very downward turn, if you like, of income because of the rise of the European powers, partially. In much the same way as the Caliph in Egypt gave license to the people to strip the Tura limestone from the Great Pyramids at Giza, with which they built what's now called Old Cairo. In much the same way, the Caliph of these local parts gave license to strip mostly marble and just strip this entire palace and use the building materials for other buildings. The Caliph, and I can't remember his name right now, he's buried, the one who gave license to strip this place, he's buried in Meknes, a very nice mausoleum. And there are quite a few friezes, as it were, slabs, carvings, decorating his mausoleum that used to be here. I like this place. I mean, Bahia Palace is far more ornate and far better preserved, but I really like the open space. I like the ruin, predictably enough. Yeah. Now, that's the Western Pavilion there, currently undergoing essential renovation, of which I entirely approve, to maintain it. But yeah, this place is absolutely amazing. One last little thing is that I mentioned during my Kutubia Mosque video that I was disappointed not to be allowed to go into Kutubia Mosque because the minbar, the pulpit, is like a carved and decorated kind of wooden step ladder. It's kind of like a little separate staircase. It was supposed to be absolutely beautiful, and I thought that it was still extant in the Kutubia Mosque. Apparently it's not. It's here. But as I saw on the way in, the exhibition is currently closed. This happens, of course. One day I'll see it. Anyway. So the palace is set up as an open rectangle with a grid, including these gorgeous sunken gardens, 4 of them, which flank the central pool. This place must have been absolutely magnificent back in the day. Yeah, and when the pool was clean, shall we say, amazing in the summer, imagine. And the pool, of course, allowed the irrigation of the sunken gardens to be maintained. Yeah, very nice indeed. Anyway, now as you would imagine, with such a large space, this place is amazing for events, concerts, gatherings. Going to a concert here would be so cool. And light shows, things like that. All along the sides, you have large rooms, storerooms as it were, bedrooms, that sort of thing. And predictably enough, that's been made into a series of museums dealing with that museum there, for example, deals with irrigation, water distribution, that sort of thing. And this one deals with a city fairly close by, a ruined city called Agrab, and artifacts from there, which don't particularly hold my interest, as it were. But yeah, I do like this place. One additional point that I haven't got round to yet is if you look there, those are not palm trees. Those are mobile telephone masts that are made to look like palm trees. They're all over the place here. And unless you know what you're really looking for, you skip past them, which I suppose is the entire point. But yeah, like that one there has leaves and everything at the top. Huh. Right, heading back through the local market. Picked up my lunch. Gonna have that with my good investment. Been passing a whole big bunch of rooks. But yeah, headed back, relax. Have to take Abby to my other hostel today. Yeah, good Sunday. I swear this tortoise is so over it being battered by the cat. That tortoise is at least 35, 40 years old. I'm sure it sees the cat as, as like a really, really annoying little brother, because the cat's about 3 and the tortoise is like, oh, these kids today, and they're young whippersnappers. Oh my god. Having a bit of a battle here. What's going on with these two? So, get out of my way. Did you eat my food? Hey friends, so it's my last night in Marrakech. I am going to miss this place so much, even though I stayed far longer than I had intended to. This week has been a little bit stressful, up to and including a 46-hour mission to Europe, and then coming back today. Hence my freshly squeezed orange juice. I've been eating, fairly fast-ish kind of food for 2 days. Just need to get my vitamins in. Anyway, I am off to Agadir tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to it because I'm there for a solid week. And the beach. Anyway, I'm going to go buy some dates for the road. As always, if you like what I do, how I'm doing it, please do like and subscribe. Take care.